So, Laura Hobbs and her stupid bullshit lawsuit against Shasta County because she's a butthurt loser that can't handle the fact that she lost. Sound familiar? She keeps harping on and on about this 14 votes, that she didn't make it to the runoff election by only 14 votes. And she's trying to say that because the elections office used one type of randomization instead of a different type of randomization, and the fact that her name wasn't on the top of the ballot is why she didn't get those 14 votes. Patrick Jones and Win Carpenter's names were both at the top of the ballot, and they lost soundly. So clearly, that doesn't fucking matter. But what she never talks about is how many more votes Alan Long actually got than her. So Alan Long got 5,410 votes. Laura Hobbs got 2,063 votes. Alan Long got 3,347 more votes than Laura Hobbs. So I was listening to that radio show with Kelly Frost. There's things about that guy I can't stand. There's things that he says that I actually kind of agree with. I have no opinion on him directly, but he had her on the show, and Rich Gallardo called into the show. And he said, well, if they're so sure that Alan Long's the winner, why don't they just allow it to go to the runoff? Because it's a waste of fucking time. It's a waste of taxpayer money. She lost by 3,347 votes. So how on earth does she think that she could go to a runoff election against just her and Alan Long and actually win? There's no way anybody could think that, unless they had a new ROV by that time willing to do all the things they've been accusing everyone else of doing. I guarantee you, if these three supervisors appoint one of their people to the position of ROV, we're going to see all of the things that they have been projecting for years now. We're going to see voter fraud, we're going to see tampering, we're going to see election interference, we're going to see all this shit because, as we know, with these fucking people, every accusation is a confession. So that's why it's a big deal that this lawsuit is happening. That, and again, it's a complete waste of taxpayer time and money. Laura Hobbs is a loser. She lost. She lost the election, and it doesn't matter that her name wasn't on the top of the ballot. That's a stupid bullshit thing. And in fact, since that's the only thing that they could find to start a lawsuit with, that shows that there was actually nothing wrong going on in the elections office. Think of all the other accusations they've made this whole time. And what does it come down to? The fact that they used the wrong randomization program to put the names on the ballot, and that's the only thing they could find after all the shit they've thrown against the wall? That's the only thing that's stuck? Come the fuck on. Not only that, she lies. She straight up lies and says that if her name had been on the top of the ballot, she would have been in the runoff race. There's no way to prove that. No way whatsoever to prove that that would have happened. The people voted. And if the court tries to overturn that and gifts her a place in the runoff election, that is defying the will of the voters. There have been races won by one vote, and that doesn't mean those races were fraudulent. You just lost by one vote. Yeah, it's close. Kevin Cry barely beat the recall by 50 votes out of thousands. This shit happens when politics are so almost equally divided. Laura Hobbs, you lost. Fuck off. Shut up. Go get a hobby that isn't trying to screw with Shasta County elections because you can't handle the fact that you're a weird fucking crazy person and people don't want you to be a supervisor, because that's the truth. The amount of desperation you constantly spew should be embarrassing for you. There's a reason why you're always the person reaching out to people to interview you. You're always the person reaching out to journalists to interview you, reaching out to radio hosts. Even Kelly Frost said on his show that you reached out to him to be on the show. Nobody wants to talk to you. No one's reaching out for you. You're absolutely desperate for attention. I think you just love being in the spotlight because you're some sad, lonely lady that's got nothing else going on, and this whole thing came along, and now you finally have something to fucking do with your time. But your pastime cannot be trying to screw the whole fucking county over for your bullshit delusions. You are an embarrassment to this county, and you should be absolutely ashamed of yourself. But people like you, for some reason, aren't able to feel shame. When everyone around you is fucking cringing every time you open your mouth, somehow you can't see that. You can't feel that. You have convinced yourself that you're in the right, that you're somehow the victim. No. You're not a victim of anything except yourself. you lost a fair and square race by thousands and thousands of votes. And even if you went to a runoff, you would still lose by thousands and thousands of votes. And if you really actually think that when you get one of your friends in there as the ROV, that's going to be the thing to magically change all the elections and they're going to get to do whatever they want and you're all going to get elected because they're going to do a bunch of fucking voter fraud and election interference, no, the state's going to fucking step in because they're staring at all of you. You're not even going to be able to get away with that. So fuck off. Shut up and fuck off. Loser. Loser. You are a loser, Laura Hobbs. You lost. When someone loses, guess what that makes them? A loser. Deal with it and leave our fucking election systems alone. My God. We are so sick of you. So goddamn sick of you. And here's the thing. Say some magical Narnian situation happens and somehow you actually ended up as a supervisor. I guarantee you we would fucking recall you and we would win that one. So maybe fucking think ahead a little bit here and realize you're completely fighting uphill, you're not gonna win this battle, and you're only making yourself and our entire county look fucking stupid.